everyone, welcome back to another episode of Teach, Sleep, Repeat. My name is Dylan.
And my name's Hayden.
And this week, yeah, it's Monday, but guess what? We're swapping the order. We're going to go for the Q&A.
What?
Today. Do you know why?
Tell me.
Because we've been recording it first this whole time.
Yeah,
and having to pretend that there was an episode before anyway, because we batch record both episodes at once. But the other thing is, it's more sharp, it's more quick, and it gives you more time then, because we tend to do something more of a deep dive on a Monday. It gives you more time to actually listen to that then if we just release that on the Wednesday. So you're still getting your 2 episodes a week. Don't you worry. Don't you panic.
Makes a lot of sense. One change at a time though, right? Because we tried changing the intro that one time and that didn't go down well with you.
We're not changing the intro ever.
But you're okay with it. This change is all right.
This change is all right because I thought of it.
Yeah, all right, okay,
It's my change. Which means I got my head around it.
And by you thought of it, what he means is someone suggested it in our WhatsApp community first, and Dylan thought it was his idea.
This is hilarious because if you go back, I literally suggested it.
Did you?
Yes, go back and find it. And you can back me up if you're in the WhatsApp community, which you can join down below. Get involved in all of the chit chat. There's a great group of people. It's a good laugh. Why not join? It's down below. It's free. And guess what? They can put their question submissions in to the form, get priority access. We actually have one from Instagram as well today.
We do.
Without further ado, though, Hayden, go on.
Well, we had a very fantastic range of questions from
Very
Tom,
fantastic. Good
who
start.
who is from our WhatsApp community, and he submitted a lot of questions. So we've got a few from Tom today. It'll be a bit of a running joke.
We're going to sprinkle them in, are we?
Yeah, sprinkle them in. He's got some quite good ones.
Do you tend to say something's a running joke before you do it? Is that how?
I like to ruin the joke by saying it's a running joke.
Fair dues.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool,
So
nice one.
cheers, Tom. Keep it up. Here's your first question. What's the grossest thing that's ever happened to you in class? I once had a class of year 1 children and everyone was constantly having colds and illnesses. Understandable. It turns out that they all thought the box of tissues were reusable and kept stuffing them back into the box. I also once found a box of teeth. Must have been about 30 of them. Apparently, a previous teacher would collect them for science experiments about tooth decay and had lost them all.
I don't know how to.
We can't top his
that's the
own
end of
answer.
the question. There's nothing that's happened to me that's more gross than that.
Yeah.
How eerie would it be to just be like rumbling through your cupboard trying to find something and just a box of teeth?
Yeah.
That's like something out of a horror film.
I think I'd be more scared than anything. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, is this a setup?
Yeah, like it's like a trophy of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like 1 tooth for each thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like a great way of doing a science experiment, getting real teeth.
It is true.
And whacking them in like a Coke for a week and seeing what happens to them.
Not sure about the science experiment where we reuse tissues though.
That's the one that
snot.
That hit me. And when I was thinking about what the grossest thing happened to me, it's all about snot because
it just
it's insane. Like you just get kids who just have it on their nose constantly. And me personally, my friends found this out. I gag.
Yeah, you hate snot, don't you? You're like super phobia.
It's not like I don't like phobia because I'm not scared of it, but it just makes me throw up.
But you're beyond like the normal range. No one likes snot, but you're way beyond that.
Oh,
you gag at the sound of the word.
Someone,
you're like struggling now. I can see
I'm
it.
literally struggling. If someone, I can't. No, seriously.
The little sound effects.
No.
It's like he's getting ready.
Because it's when someone says that they are if they got phlegm or something.
Yeah. Come on, mate, spit it out.
No,
spit out your snot. Come on.
Don't. Because if someone says it, I'm like, oh, it's disgusting. And then they carry on. My friends found this out. I was in Asda car park. And one of my friends obviously had a phlegmy throat.
Yeah.
I was getting it. And they did it until I threw up in a bush.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And they were all like laughing, obviously, hilarious.
What?
And I had to go to a bush and it was too much for me and I can't deal with it. So like anything to do with that. Oh God, I've had it before in class. I'm going to try and get through this story.
Throw up on the pod. Throw up on the pod. Come on, guys. Throw up on the pod.
They can't hear me. I can't hear them. I've had it before in class where I've you know when you like cough or just sniff too much and it goes to the back of your throat and it goes into your mouth.
Yeah, horrible.
And I've had to stop teaching because I had to go into the cupboard and find something somewhere and there was no tissue in the cupboard. So I had to get a scrap bit of paper. I scrunched up a scrap bit of paper and I got rid of my phlegm into it. Oh
your
my God.
eyes are watering, by the way.
I am really struggling to like not... I need to stop after this. And I have to leave it in there and come back out. And so anything to do with snot when kids have it, so I can't deal with it whatsoever. Yeah. It's actually pathetic.
And I reckon, knowing you as well, there's at least an 80% chance that's still in that cupboard. There's no way you went back in there later and thought, I'll get rid of that little snotty little scrap paper ball.
When I first started my new school, my most recent school, and obviously I was quite new and people didn't know me that well, there was some point towards the end of the year where the assistant head teacher went into my cupboard for something. and was like, something stinks. And it was like this old mouldy sandwich that I'd forgotten about.
Of course you
half
had.
eaten. It was in the corner and it stunk. And then, so from then on, I was known as the sandwich boy.
Yeah,
for a while.
I'm just not remotely surprised. Well, I'll leave you with my story, which you're going to love then. After all of that context about you and your love for snot, I had a child once, and you might have even taught this child, I don't know, but I had a child once who constantly had a snotty nose for some reason and would always wipe it across their sleeve. And I remember one time it just annoyed me a little bit because I was like, why can't they just use a tissue? I have tissues on them. I said, do you want a tissue? And they just went, no, I'm all right. And I just watched them like wipe a big line of snot across their arm on their jumper, like for the 5th time. And it's like, what do you mean you don't need a tissue?
Define all right.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the snail trails up and down.
Yeah,
Absolutely
disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Oh my God. But reusing the tissues is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so funny. The kids are probably thinking that they're being sustainable and helpful.
Yeah.
I'll put that back in there for Johnny after. I was like, oh my God. Absolutely. But on the note of this, by the way, I'm sorry anyone who's out there uses handkerchiefs are mental.
You were going to swear.
I was going to swear. They're mental, aren't they?
Okay.
Handkerchiefs.
Why? Tell me why handkerchiefs
I think I've said this on the podcast
We have
before,
a long time ago.
because I can't believe that it's a thing where you blow your nose and you're like, cool, I could either get rid of this or I could shove it in my pocket and blow my nose into it again later.
Yeah.
Methinks I'll put it in my pocket and I'll get the crusty, snotty handkerchief out later and blow my nose into it again. What on earth are you... Get what?
Let us know if you have a handkerchief in your pocket right now.
No,
I don't think it's that bad because you fold it.
Oh, sorry. All these kids, they folded it before they put it back in the box. That's fine. How many times can you fold a handkerchief before you have to wash it and get rid of it again? What are you on about?
At least once. Like, you can definitely get away with blowing your nose on a handkerchief, which is thicker than I can understand a tissue because they're just paper and they, disintegrate.
Right.
A handkerchief is a piece of material. You can snot on it, fold it in half, maybe fold it in half again for extra measure, and you can put it in your pocket. Use it again.
Disgusting.
You could do. It's not great, but you can.
You could. Do you know what your cause do? Gob in your hand and put that in your pocket. You could do.
Yeah, could do. Same.
You could do.
My hand is not a perfectly wrapped handkerchief.
Could do. It's not the logic. I'm not having it.
Oh God.
Famously, I think you can only fold things 7 times.
Yeah, and then you reach the moon. Something like that, right?
I think that's it. Yeah. There's some old episode of Mythbusters. They
fold a piece of paper 7 times and you'll reach the moon.
That's what we teach our kids. Next generation. Right, come on. Next question.
Next question. This is an anonymous submission. Our SLT have introduced a teaching and learning initiative for the month of December. A TNL, a teaching and learning elf on the shelf.
Nah.
Each morning, the elf is put in a teacher's classroom in some sort of scene or pose. Lol. I've added that. With a teaching and learning.
Oh, thank God. the people listening weren't sure when to laugh out loud.
I just thought I don't want to.
You said, lol.
I don't want to insult this person by thinking they put a lol in it. With a teaching and learning tip next to it. How nice is that?
Right, come on.
Whoever ends up with the elf has to hide it in another teacher's classroom for the following day, blah, 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 and so on. When you discover the elf in the morning, you have to take a picture of it and send it to all staff. SLT have announced a prize will be given to the most funny/creative elf. Right, this is just context at this point. Right. Am I being too miserable about this, as I think this is a complete burden on staff? I made the mistake of leaving early last year and came back the next day to find the elf in my room. So nobody wants to leave early in case they get the elf. I felt terrible. You think this is bad? I felt terrible as I hid the elf in my colleague's room and she burst out crying and she already felt burnt out and this finished her off. SLT laughed it off as this should be light-hearted fun in quotation marks.
Sorry. Light-hearted?
Yeah.
Light-hearted.
Oh, light-hearted. I say light-hearted.
Should be light-hearted fun.
Light-hearted fun.
Honest to God, you're not reading another bloody question, honestly. Go on, keep going.
Dare you make a mistake one time.
One!
I made one mistake.
One.
For context, this is the school where we were doing 8 duties a week with the head teacher saying never to query management. I think we had this person
I
remember
a long time
this
ago.
person. Yeah.
Doesn't that sum it up? Isn't it? I always find it so funny when you find out a toxic, horrible manager's version of fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. Yeah. What is it fun? Is any part of this
You're
fun?
telling me this is fun in the context of me telling you that they're crying. So, I just don't think this is the time to tell me that's fun. It doesn't, come on.
I think you might be wrong. I think you might actually be wrong. Don't query management, love.
Yeah.
It's TNL Elf on the shelf.
Yeah. They're having a meltdown over there. Well, where's that picture?
What? Don't query management. Here's my TNL pedagogy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It screams, you know, we talk about like well-being initiatives, like Force ones. It's like, got Yo Club.
yeah.
It's like they've decided what's good for everyone's well-being, and it's doing Elf on a Shelf for staff.
They've taken something which is barely fun in the first place, which is Elf on the Shelf, which I already think is just ridiculous. But you know what? There's a lot of really nice people out there who just want to make something fun for their kids and want to do that.
Kids,
I think that's
important.
Yeah, exactly.
Barely fun for kids.
Exactly that. Yeah. Maybe it's a bit of extra workload. Maybe it's like there's a question behind it and stuff.
What? Do you want to do that bit again, where you just burped into the mic whilst you were talking?
I think
Wow, our standards really have dropped.
I don't want to edit anything. Do we?
I don't want to do any post-production.
Post-production.
That's so funny.
Oh, there's Ty Swilly.
What is going on? Everybody, cut.
Thai chili sweet sensations. Chili sweet. I don't know if it's the right way around.
This is so lighthearted.
We're losing.
This is so lighthearted. It's such lighthearted fun. We've lost it.
I was trying to talk about Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
Where I just think it's a waste of time. But yeah, this is insane. Like, you're not miserable. This is what winds me up as well. And people end up saying you're miserable because you disagree with something that someone else has decided is good. Like, you saying it's not good or fun for me doesn't mean it's miserable.
Exactly.
It just means that you have a different definition of fun, which, by the way, I don't think anyone's definition of fun is a teaching and learning Elf on the Shelf. I never, ever sat there thinking, you know what I could bloody do right now? With a bit of fun. A teaching and learning Elf on the Shelf, where I put it in someone's classroom. Imagine, do you know what I would do, though? There are a few teachers who I would definitely put the elf in their classroom. Just to
annoy them. Yeah, and it'll be me.
Yeah. A few teachers.
I feel like even on this, right, we're still forgetting the bit that I think is hilarious, which is that they have to give a teaching and learning tip with it. If we were doing that, I could not take the piss. No. You would be leaving the most sarcastic or silly or ridiculous, outrageous comments, wouldn't you?
Tip number 1, don't do teaching and learning Elf on the Shelf.
Well, you're too nice. I'll be straight in with, how about you try being a good teacher? Like, really horrible, over-the-top comments because they know I'm taking the mick.
Do you know what you should do if you have that in your school? You should put it in SLT's office. And just don't even be passive-aggressive, just be aggressive. Just write in the note saying, this is wasting my time. Just put it on the desk.
No attempts to do a silly pose. It's just chucked on the floor with a note next to it.
I know that the teachers can't query it, but maybe elves can. I can query
The elf smashed all of your things.
Oopsie!
Everything's broken.
All of your toxic observations that you do 5 times a year and stuff, all of them been deleted from the file.
Oh no, your PC's in shambles.
Someone sent a whistleblowing form to the governors. Whoopsie!
It was the elf.
It's just a playful elf on the shelf. Oh god! Look, your elf's brought your P45. Silly little elf.
Bloody elf's put an advert on Kent Teach, if you're in Kent, for a new SLT member, and it's your job.
That blasted elf is a little rascal, isn't he?
Oh god.
Anyway, stuff's in the box. Security's on the way.
Yeah.
See you later.
Madness.
Okay, bring it back.
Calming down
a little bit. Toxic SLT have gone. The elves have taken over. School's in a better place.
Yeah, I think this person's wrong. This sounds hilarious. This sounds great. This sounds fun as anything.
What do you mean this is a burden? You're just doing it wrong.
Oh my god. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah, okay, yeah. But just I just want to finish off by saying that is insane.
Yeah.
If I found the elf in my room, it would find its way to the bin.
Oh god, that was supposed to be I labelled it as like a serious one.
I can see how you've tried to alter.
I'm like, oh,
you tried to alternate.
Yeah. Silly one, serious one. Well, we're back to a silly one now.
Did that when I burp halfway through?
That did set the tone, really. So back to Tom. What everyday classroom item holds the most untapped power?
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with that. Do you know what I always think about? This isn't necessarily every day, and for some reason I'm going more serious now on this question.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily an everyday item, but the thing that genuinely transformed how I teach the most was a clicker. A clicker bar.
I hate you.
Why?
Because that was mine. Oh! I had like one preloaded in my head.
Sorry. I'll let you talk about them. It's not necessarily every day, but can you explain them? What do we even mean by clicker, and why was it genuinely transformative?
And I'll add slightly to it. A clicker with a laser.
Go on.
A laser pointer. Right. A clicker is because it meant you can be anywhere in the classroom.
What does it do then? What do we mean a clicker?
As in like a left, literally has like a left and right button on it. So you can be anywhere in the classroom and move through your slides.
So it's Bluetooth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Bluetooth to your laptop or whatever it is, so that you don't have to go to the board to press next if you're working on a PowerPoint or smart notebook, whatever it is you do. You can be somewhere else and just click it. you know, it's in your pocket, whatever. And it was particularly great because I had a laser pointer version for years and it didn't work anymore because we got new screens at our school and the laser pointer didn't work on it anymore.
Yeah.
But when I had a laser pointer, I could sit at the back of the classroom. If I need their attention on a particular thing on the screen, bam, laser pointer, and they loved it. They're like cats.
I was getting my Taylor Swift tickets at the back. So over there, guys.
Have a look. Next slide, please. I had a kid at the front, you know, telling me when to go to the next slide. Another kid telling me what to look at.
A kid at the front pressing the button anyway.
Because the laser pointer didn't work. Yeah, but that to me was like absolute staple. I had that all the way through my teaching career. And when we got those screens, this is how I know it's so good. Because when we got those screens, more like TV screens, and the laser pointer just like evaporated into it. It didn't work anymore.
Yeah.
I was gutted because I was like, it made me realize how much I liked being able to be anywhere and like reference, oh, look at that exact thing without me going to the board.
It was really good, wasn't it? It was more dynamic teaching.
Yeah.
You could be where you wanted to be. How many times when you're teaching would you actually just rather be stood next to a certain person? Like you just want to make sure they know you're there.
Yeah.
Go around the room, see what you're doing. It felt so much more seamless. I felt like such a better teacher.
Yeah.
Because of it. I was thinking of some more as well. Unless you've got anything to add. For the point. A few other things. Because a big thing for me that improved my teaching was anything that allowed me to model more effectively. Because I found that my best teaching was when I wasn't just working off slides I'd been given or planned previously and just reading through text and doing stuff like that. I found my best teaching was always when I was modeling how to do something, you know, doing something myself, doing something together. I do, we do, you do. I actually really like that as a pedagogy tool. And I think it was really useful in my teaching when things in my classroom aided me to do that. So to add to this list, I'd put something like a really good visualizer. Yeah. Like having a quality visualizer that I don't necessarily use all the time, but the amount of times I'd want to just click it on quick, have some math manipulatives in front of me. The kids had it in front of them. They could look at the board of what I was doing. They could match it, and then we could try some questions, etc. Whether it was layout of how I wanted something to look, like if we're doing like a newspaper report or something, I might think, oh, actually, this is how we're going to do it. It's going to look like this. Modeling writing, like literally, you could do it on the whiteboard, obviously, but you can do it on paper in front of you.
Yeah, that's good.
And
can I tell you something wild?
Go on.
I never used a visualizer.
Yeah,
so ever.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're a strange one. I'm going to say right now because there's a lot of stuff. You're the ultimate version, genuinely, of if something's different, you're quite reluctant to do it.
Stuck in my ways.
Yeah, and like there are lots of times where it's a good thing, honestly, where you say no to stuff.
Sure.
But I've genuinely thought quite a few times. There's stuff where I'm like, why aren't you doing that?
Yeah,
like,
I think that as well. Genuinely.
Like visualizer and stuff. Visualizer is really, really useful. Like again, I would have hated it if it was mandated and it was like, you need 5 minutes visualizer every time because we decided it's a good thing. My pushback is always, stuff can be good, but you can still let me decide as a professional when to do it. I think there's a middle ground.
Can I tell you why? Because there is a bit of reason, even though I don't think it's the best answer. I just didn't have one, or it didn't work for like a solid 5 years of my career. And then I got used to never using it, and it never crossed my mind. But then the last like 3 years of my career, I had a working visualizer in my room and I just didn't use it.
Yeah. I think what I'd say to that is a separate point. Like the faultiness of the tech or it not working properly, that's separate in terms of that's still a problem. I can see why it might foster an idea of, well, I don't need this then, so I'll never do it. Yeah. But there's definitely points where it's like, okay, but something can be introduced to you again.
Exactly. I could have used it.
You could just start using it again. So like modeling stuff. And I think if I look back in my career, I did 1 year in year 3 and it was post-COVID. And we went back to very much basics. And I actually think it was some of my best ever teaching.
What with the visualizer?
No. There's one my next thing as well. With that as well, it helped. But with also, I had a flip chart.
Oh,
I had like a flip chart that I could move around. Obviously, the board's fine, but the board's static and still some children around the room. I had a clipboard that was really easy to move. Had paper.
Yeah.
So I could flick forward and backwards and stuff, and we could like have the journey of the lesson, almost like a working wall. But then if I got the whole pad up, it had a whiteboard as well. And I would like, I would almost like exclusively use that when I was doing my lessons. Like I would literally like, I'd have my plan. I'd still make a smart notebook, but every single lesson I'd be like, right, I'd be dragging it along, putting it in front of the kids. Yeah. Cool, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm going to work for a group, drag it to my group. I'm modeling to the group. And I found my best teaching was always when I was doing something, modeling it with them, showing them how to do it, then practice themselves, bringing it back to them, showing anything that increased the amount of I was doing that in the classroom, made me a better teacher.
They're just the most enjoyable lessons though, aren't they? Like you're absolutely right. Like my favorite lessons ever were the ones where on the spot, I was analyzing and adapting constantly, and just thinking. You're just in flow state. I know it sounds really corny. Flow state. It
doesn't sound corny,
but you are though.
Yeah,
like the ones where I have to just teach off a PowerPoint. That even worse, someone else has planned it. It's not even my like exact thought train going into it. They're the worst lessons. I want the one where it's just, okay, give me an hour. I know the objective. I've been teaching for 10 years now. I know the objective inside and out. I will adapt to these kids on the spot. Give me a flip chart and I'll teach the best lesson I've ever taught. Yeah. It's true. It's just, you get to that point.
that's where there's like 3 options, right? So, and I can see why people end up going down the route of meticulously planning something themselves, because you have the one you talked about there, where it's like shared planning, and you just said how that's annoying and it's never as good, but it does really lighten your workload when you don't have to plan everything, right? So it is essential to do. There's 2 prongs to go off this, right? When you realize it's bad, you want to improve your teaching, right? You're like, this is just clunky. I don't feel it. I don't feel that spark. I get it saved me hours and hours, which is really important. But, it's annoying. One way to go down is going down the route of, so I need to plan everything myself from scratch for me, for the kids, do my notebook. And when you're a less experienced teacher, there's some weight in definitely going through stuff and replanning it and just getting your way and knowing what works for you. But in general, it's just adding workload. It's not reasonable. But people go down that route because of what you just said. They want the best for the kids, and it ends up plowing into their burnout, basically, and just making them rinse themselves.
Yeah.
The other option, which I felt like I got to by the end of my career, is I was more experienced. So the option I went down was, cool, that's my baseline. I understand where I'm starting. I understand where the end goal of this lesson is.
All the shared planning and things.
Exactly. Shared planning still. I'm still using that shared planning. But where I think if I just use this slide by slide, lesson by lesson, line by line, really to the script, it wouldn't be perfect for my class. As an experienced teacher, I'm higher up on the pay scale because of that, because I'm a better at adapting on the spot and giving the kids what they need.
That's it.
So that is what I said. I always would advocating this to any experienced teacher. I was like, don't sit and complain to me that something's not on the smart. You're a teacher of 10 years. Do something different then with your kids. It's your kids. And our head teacher was always saying that, and really backed our staff to do that. But there'd still be a lot of people who'd be like, oh, but the smart notebook looks quite wrong, and there's all this and there's all that. Don't worry. You're a teacher of 12 years. Just do what you need to do for your kids. And that is when I had the best version of my teaching, was when I was confident enough to do that. I still came away from the script. I think that's why I go after that kind of prescriptive lessons where you got to do the exact same thing all of the time. You walk into every classroom. I think that's nonsense. I think that is just away from the top down to go down that first route I spoke about where, oh no, you've got to be exactly the same. So we need to have an exact line for the kids, and then you can kind of go through the smart yourself and maybe adapt it a little bit, but it's got to be on the smart. We've got to make sure everything's okay. Give your professionals some leeway, because that's when my kids got the most.
Well, that trust is what's been eroded, isn't it? We talked about it a lot. That trust for the professionals is really, to me, what contributes to the entire, when we talk about toxic culture and toxic practice across teaching, that's it. It all boils down to no one trusts the teachers anymore. We can't have that trust. Everything has to be perfect from the outset, and I have to be able to evidence and see that it's perfect straight away. And if it's not, then I can't possibly trust that you might be able to adapt and teach a good lesson on the spot. I don't want to leave that to chance. It needs to be perfect straight away. You know, you can see why that happens.
Everything needs to be on this exact pro forma for the worksheet you do every single lesson. Does it? Does it? Are you insane? Are you mad? Do you think that because something doesn't look exactly like the pro forma you've given it for the task they've got to do in that lesson compared to the next day, that learning can't possibly have happened? Or do you trust me as a professional more to have decided that there was a different way to do this, which didn't involve doing that, where the kids still learned? Like, what do you think I'm doing? Is there not a point in my career where you can just go, do you know what? That's not the kind of thing I need to manage. The macro stuff, the outcomes, the kids' happiness, all that kind of stuff, that's really important. I'm going to make sure I'm on top of that. How something looks slide to slide, if something's slightly different, or you decide to do something for your task, you know what? I trust you. You've got a track record.
Doesn't really matter.
Especially when you're getting results.
Madness. I feel your passion, and I'm sure a lot of people agree and are nodding along.
And that was a jovial question.
I know. I know. It's funny, isn't it? There's no rules here. You know,
no.
we're
on a Monday.
We adapt.
We're on a Monday now.
It's a Monday. It's all changed. You know, we adapt on the spot. Teacher standard. Right. Next question. This one's from Instagram. How would you deal with staff meetings consistently running over time? Is it rude to walk out? It's a kind of a 2-pronged question there.
Okay.
Go on.
I'm going to start with the second part. Is it rude to walk out? I would say back to you, is it rude to constantly waste your time?
And the answer is yes to both.
That's what I mean.
I think.
No, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying fight fire with fire is always the best thing to do.
No.
I'm just saying, like, please don't always just put it on yourself, like, oh, am I being rude? Well, just think they're being rude. So it is like a tit for tat kind of situation here where it won't necessarily solve the problem that you necessarily just stand up and get out. There are ways to do things. I think I'd do 4 things before that. If nothing was ever changing, it would get to the point where I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to walk out now because I have actually raised this.
That's fine. I think that's important, and we should probably go into that context a bit more. I think the idea of being rude, I think, is a scale at the end of the day. Like, I do actually think it is more objective. From an optics perspective, it is more rude to just get up and walk out of a staff meeting. Like, everyone would be like, oh, it's like shock factor rude, than it is the kind of passive rudeness of your staff meeting going over by 10 minutes.
But is it more rude?
I think, from literally a perspective of looking at it, it feels more rude. Like, people would be in shock at one and not in shock at the other. If that
But
makes
is
sense.
it more rude?
I don't know. It depends if you value that opinion or not. Like
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But that's a separate thing.
I'm almost.
Is it more rude?
Yeah, I don't know. And that scale, yes.
Yeah.
Objectively, I don't know if there is a possible way of saying that. But I think if it looks more rude, then I guess that's kind of how we define what rude
the
is.
point.
So
I
guess in that perspective, it is more rude.
You're putting optics on a higher scale because realistically in real life, the reaction would be that more people would think you're
the
rude.
reaction kind of determines how rude something is.
I don't think it should, but it does.
Yeah, but rudeness is based on like a society, isn't it? Like some things that people always say.
You're right.
You go to a different culture and it's not rude to
be late or
whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I hope it's not rude to
on a podcast. Yeah, but then people say that sort of stuff. And I'm like, okay, rudeness is defined by people.
Well,
then
we had on that very quickly. I remember when I played football every week on a weekend. A bunch of our team were from like African descent, and they had big African families who'd migrated over here.
Yeah,
and their whole culture really wasn't like being on time wasn't a thing that was rude or not. Oh, okay. So it's like it wasn't rude to be late to something. It was like, well, when I turn up is the time I turn up. Okay, it's not even about being rude. Like, so this is why I'm making this point, because on an optics point of view, when we were turning up to training at 10 for the game at 11, and we wanted to turn up at 10 because we had a training routine to do. To me, my first thought was it's quite rude to turn up at 20, like 20 part. We've got drills to do. Like, that's rude to me. We've agreed this time. But then on the other level is they weren't actually being rude because to them it was just you said 10, so I'm here at 20 past.
Yeah, right.
Just like if they say 10 and I turn up at 22, in some other cultures that would be rude. But to me, it's just organised.
Yeah. So it's all relative. It's all perspective based.
Exactly that. And I'm just like, okay, so sometimes I don't think the optics necessarily translate to if something is actually rude or not, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there's more deeper issues going on there. And what I would like to highlight more is the perception that it's less rude to overrun a meeting every week compared to getting up and leaving the meeting when we all agreed it would end. I think that's something we should address before we just say it's less or more rude.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So going back to this question then, I think if we go to the scenario where the staff meetings have consistently run over time and nothing has been addressed about that before, and the first thing that ever happens is you just decide one day, I'm going to get up and just leave at 5 o'clock, right? Because that's when it's agreed. I think that comes across quite rude. I don't think that's like the optimal outcome. I think like you sort of quickly glossed over, there should be some things you do before that. Like realistically, if this happens more than once, the first point of call is, firstly, I think just talking to other staff, being like, have you noticed it's going over time, isn't it? Checking it. And then going to SLT and saying, I've noticed this thing in a very polite manner. It doesn't need to be aggressive and like, it's going to be a horrible conversation. Just saying, I've noticed our staff meetings have overrun for 4 weeks in a row now. Is there any chance we could just keep it back? Because obviously we've got other commitments to do and just complete this job. And just take it from there. And if that conversation goes badly or they say just get over it, then you're working up to the point where I'd say it's completely acceptable to say, look, this is the contract at the end of the day. You want to ignore it, that's fine, but I'm not going to. I'm walking out of this meeting now. It's 5 o'clock. Then it's acceptable. I just feel like you need to address that middle.
Yeah, that's fine. I think, and also quite often delivering after school meetings are your colleagues who are your mates.
Exactly.
And things like that. And like if I've ever overran, I've really, this is what I mean though. I have always tried to not overrun. I do think it is within your control. I'm burping again. It is within your control whether or not you do that. But yeah, it's like your mate. You don't want to be annoying for the sake of being annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think it is important to just back your corner. And like you said, do it in the right way.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to the next question. It's an anonymous submission here. What did you tell your classes when you were quitting teaching? Was it different to what you'd said when you were just moving schools in the past?
Yeah, I said I'm quitting. And last time I said I'm moving.
And one of them, in fact, both of them I never came back. I'm about to say one of them I came back. Obviously not.
Never went back. Yeah. No, jokes aside, it's really interesting actually how you approach that with the children.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, and I see a lot of stuff online. It just cringes me out a bit. People post about it and make themselves the main character of that happening.
Yep.
I didn't. When we were quitting teaching, we didn't tell the kids for ages after because it was just not. It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
the kid doesn't need to know that. The only time I told the kids we were leaving was just getting like half a day or a day ahead of the curve when the new teachers were announced for next year.
Exactly that.
Because obviously had transition day. And the kids aren't daft. They'll realize they're going somewhere, but they'll look where all the other teachers are.
Yeah.
Where were you, sir, on transition day? Oh, I'm not in here actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you're leaving school, and that's when I just said to them, I was like, I'm not teaching anymore. I was very honest with them. I said, yeah, I'm gonna do something else, not in the classroom, still be in education. You might see me at some point.
Is it because of me, sir?
Yes, it is. It is actually just because of you. Yeah, really, really annoying.
My kids asked that. Because I had year sixes, they genuinely said, "Oh, is it because you don't like teaching our class?" And I couldn't have felt worse in that moment because that's where they went. So I had to really explain.
So they
to them.
thought you didn't. I
don't know if they necessarily thought that, or they were just trying to be a bit provocative in terms of like they just asked that question. Just kids are quite point blank; they don't hold anything back, do they? But yeah, they just said, "Oh, is it because you haven't enjoyed teaching our class?" And I was like heartbroken at that question because obviously it wasn't. And then because they're year sixes, you can just have that bit more nuance. I just had a whole conversation about why I'm quitting teaching, and I wasn't super.
It's the system, kids.
Yeah, I didn't sit there and say all that
screwed.
Sort of stuff. Yeah, I did. Obviously, I had limits, but I did try to explain it to them in sort of adult terms as much as possible and just be honest with them why, and made it really clear that I was not quitting teaching because I had such a horrible year with them. Like, there was such a nice class as well.
Yeah, I just think there's ways of doing it where it doesn't. There's no point. It would be for my ego to tell them earlier and make a big thing of it. And I said this a million times, even on transition day when they were moving class, if they really didn't want to, I would always frame it as it's better where you're going.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm glad you had the best time with me in the world, but I'm never going, oh, gonna miss me, are you kids? And some teachers are like that. It's really cringy. I don't like it. Oh, gonna miss me, gonna come back and see me. Like,
it's not good for them.
It's nice, but like in the moment where they're transitioning, you need to aid that transition as much as possible.
Yeah.
And make it, even if it is or it isn't, is irrelevant. It's what's happening next year.
Hype up the next teacher.
You have to do that. You have to say, oh, no, you're going to have the best time because this teacher does this, this, and this. They're the best in the world at that. You're going to smash it, guys. You've had a good time in year 4. God, you're so lucky you have a better time in year 5. Like, I promise you.
Yeah.
It's not about you as an individual. So I can see why maybe this question comes from, like, is it relevant to the kids that you're quitting or moving school? Like, do you make it a thing? I would say the only difference, the only reason I said I was quitting is because I was, and I didn't see a problem with that. I didn't think saying quitting was in that situation I said before about how it's all about me now. No. It was just, oh, I'm quitting because I'm doing this.
Because they're going to have the same reactions, really. If I'd said, oh, I'm moving schools, they would still have said, oh, is it because you didn't like teaching this class? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like it's going to be that different. So yeah, to answer that question, I'd say they're pretty much identical, other than like the literal semantics of between saying quitting versus moving schools. It was very much the same process, I'd say, with the kids.
Definitely.
Right, next question. Ready?
Yep.
Back to Tom.
This is the running joke you explained at the start, but haven't made a joke about.
Guys, this is the running joke that's so funny because I explained it.
Such a good joke. I love that the joke is that Tom's asking another question.
Tom's asking another question. Yeah, he put the effort in, and I thought, I put the effort in, but he did so many. I thought I can't not use some of these.
That's fine. I don't think it explains how it's a running joke, but that's fine.
Whatever, Dylan.
Wait, it's Tom again.
Thank you. That's the reaction I was hoping for.
That's a funny running joke.
So Tom said, "Shut up, Dylan." He didn't. Well, start that. Yeah. Which mythical creature would make the most effective TA and why?
Aslan the lion.
As what, from Narnia?
Ultimate wisdom, representing Jesus Christ, our Savior, our Lord. Aslan would be on. Imagine having Aslan. Hello, get on with your work, young man.
You've thought I'm more shocked at how quickly you came up with Aslan.
I admire him. I admire Aslan. Like he's firm, he's fair. I reckon he'd have a stern word with a kid, and the behavior management would be sick. Imagine being in a class trying to teach and they're being a bit noisy, a bit chatty. You go, class, just look at Aslan, a massive lion. It's even about. So I think you should be quiet, kids, because and Aslan's just there going.
Jaws and Godzilla are doing as they're told.
They're fighting, but Aslan's just in the corner going, silence. They'd be quiet.
You think that would work?
Immediately. Yeah.
I don't know if it tops Medusa, because that's where I was going.
Right. Okay. Right. Go on.
Think about it.
They're not on the same level, but go on.
Are they not? Because one of them's a lion and a little bit scary. One of them can literally turn you into stone if you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. So that would only work once, wouldn't it?
Well,
that would only work once.
Turn them back.
That's not.
Turn them back.
Sorry, that's not famously part of Medusa's skill set. You've made that bit up.
We need another mythical creature in this example. The teacher can turn them back if they're good at
falling apart, isn't it?
Falling
apart immediately.
Good threat though, isn't it?
Is it a good threat? Yeah. Is it a good threat that you either never ever follow through with, so it would immediately lose the thing, or you do, and you've got a real safeguard issue on your head.
You permanently turn a child into
stone.
Yeah.
Maybe doing it once, you get the class.
Yeah, Aslan's a good idea. I reckon. Medusa's a stupid suggestion. I don't know. That wasn't me. It was Tom that thought of that one. Yeah.
How good is Aslan though?
It's pretty good.
I challenge anyone to come up better at Aslan. Aslan,
a mythical creature.
Unbelievable. Who's your teaching assistant? Miss Jones. Who's yours? Aslan the lion. Like, there's no better. He knows everything. He's the ultimate moral judge of character. He's fair. He's firm. He sacrifices himself. He would take one for the team. If the SLT walked in and the kids were off task, you'd Aslan go, "It was me," and he'd sacrifice himself. He'd still come back. Comes back later on.
Brilliant.
The ultimate teaching assistant.
Yeah. It's either him or the goat boy.
Keep trying to say
From
ridiculous
Narnia.
suggestions.
The goat boy. The goat boy.
Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus. That's him.
Why was he better than Aslan?
Yeah, well, he's a goat boy, isn't he? Look at him. He's cool.
Sum that up. He'd bring the bants like Mr.
Aslan.
Poppy and Nativity. Imagine Aslan and Mr. Tumnus running a class.
Oh God,
it's me and you, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Right,
I'm
go
Aslan. I'm Aslan.
Aslan.
I'm Aslan. You're a little goat boy.
Yeah, sure.
Goat boy can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right, next one. Back to a serious one. Not sure any of these have been that serious, but here we go. From Tegan. Best advice for trainee teachers. I'm third year of 4 at NTU and panicking ahead of a 12-week placement in January.
Okay, let's do one clear, concise one each because we've talked about this a lot before. If I had a student teacher in front of me, Tegan, if you were stood there and you're saying, "What's my advice?" I would say, plunge. Oh, this is hard to put into one. I'm going to try and put it into one sentence.
Go for it.
Know your rights and give exactly what you want to above that. That would be my sentence. So,
Okay.
So just to really clarify, know and understand exactly what your working rights literally are as a teacher, because that's important. And then whatever you are willing to plunge yourself into and do extra and go above and beyond whilst you're still training and learning and getting used to it, do that as well.
Yeah. Basically just being aware of the difference between, you're not just being coerced into doing tons of things. You have no idea why you're doing it. You just seem to be working 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're actively saying, this is what I'm doing as part of the agreement.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing extra because I want to develop.
And I think that's really important, especially early in your career, because I would never, ever, ever say to someone early in their career not to throw themselves into something, because I think it's a really good way of learning the ropes. And it helped me immensely. It made me a better teacher quickly. And at the time, I wanted to do it. It was the perfect combination of putting in all those extra hours, wanting to go above and beyond. I didn't quite know my rights, and that took me a while to learn. And I kind of got used to the point. I was like, actually, wait a minute, this is just taking the mick a little bit, because there are points where I want to maybe pull something back that I felt like I couldn't, but I absolutely could. But I still wanted to go to the cross countries at the weekend. I still wanted to run a football team. I still wanted to lead maths. I still wanted to do all this stuff. Not necessarily getting the monetary payment for it right there and then, but I wanted to do it at the time, and it helped my career in the long run. So that's all I would say to people is go with your eyes wide open. You've got a placement.
Yeah.
You're not being paid. You're there to learn. Know what you need to do and should be entitled to.
Yeah.
You get 30% non-contact time. That's vital. Non-contact time doesn't mean you go home. Non-contact time means that you can go and watch other teachers. Go and do that.
Utilize it.
Know your rights. Know what you need to do to get better. Enjoy it. Throw yourself into it. It's going to be tough, but give it a go. And if you don't like it after a year, go into a different profession.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, 3 years into a 4-year course, you kind of know what you're doing. You're a bit nervous. Throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Good advice. I think mine's along the lines of like, when you're training to be a teacher, and even the first few years after that, you're very much bombarded with, here's 900 things you need to do to be a really good teacher. And you with the idea of like, you're going to master this. Firstly, no one masters teaching ever really, but certainly Dylan did after
Aslan was helping me.
after 1 week of first placement.
Yeah, Aslan was
Aslan was in the background doing it all for you, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Lazy goat boy. But know that you're bombarded, right? My tip to you is to prioritize what you actually want to work on. You can sit there. I would do this. I would write down the 10 things that I feel like I'm being bombarded with. I need to work on this behavior management. I need to work on how I develop relationships with the children. I need to work on my curriculum. I need to work on all of these things.
Basically all of teaching.
All of teaching, right? Yeah. But don't overwhelm yourself with this ideal expectation of I'm going to do all of these things by the end of my placement because that's what I have to do to be a good teacher. No, you don't. Work on one thing at a time. Write it down. Say, this is my priority. Maybe even for this whole placement, you have like a list of 3. Your top priority. And if you feel that you've done that, you'll work on these other 2 things because you will continue working on these for years and years and years in your actual career. Yeah. There's definitely a feeling when you're training of, I need to be completely done and ready by the time my training's finished. No, you don't. You need to be at a certain threshold where you can maintain and teach a class by yourself and do the job appropriately. But you'll always work on things. So just prioritize, calm yourself down a little. If you're anything like me, I just overwhelmed myself all the time and think of what you'd like to prioritize. Work on that alone. Yeah,
that's good. And what I'd add to your point is to work with your mentor on that. Your mentor's usually in a really good position to say, sure, they might think of 7 things you could work on, but talk to your mentor about what your priorities then, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Dylan, we're going to do one last question. I'm going to wrap this up with a final one from, can you guess who it's from?
Oh, is that bloody running?
It's a running joke.
Don't make me laugh.
It's a running joke.
Come on.
Can you get? It's Tom. It's Tom. It's bloody Tom.
That running joke is so funny.
Oh dear. So here we go.
How do you come up with them?
I honestly, Yeah, I think you need to leave me to write these episodes a bit more often.
Clearly.
He said, if Teach, Sleep, Repeat was made into a film, who would be cast to play you guys? Obviously, mine's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I was thinking Vin Diesel.
No, do you know Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It would be.
That is so funny.
It would be.
Yeah.
I've been told. If you're a man with quite short dark hair and a bit of a beard,
Okay, go on.
you get told that you look like a million different celebrities.
Go on, who's the best
The
one?
main one doesn't even have a beard.
Who is it?
Who do you think? Who would you say? Celebrity look like? Matt Damon.
Matt Damon?
I've been told.
You look nothing like Matt Damon.
I know. I've been told short brown hair.
What?
Yep, literally. I've been told in my youth, I was told you're like Chris Pine, the Chris from Star Trek.
You are.
I was when that person said that, I was like, I'm clinging on to that.
Take it
for the rest of my life.
I would have said someone like Anne Hathaway for you. I think it's more appropriate.
Christian
more
Bale.
hair.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale. I don't know. Yeah, Anne Hathaway and
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is a good one. Tom Hanks. I'd be honoured.
Tom Hanks and Woody Harrelson.
Tom Hanks and Woody Harrelson
Do the Teacher podcast.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey
and Woody Harrelson, because they're friends anyway. True Detective. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I was going to try and do a Matthew McConaughey impression, but I can't.
Yeah,
I can just do it.
from
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, okay. Can I be Leonardo DiCaprio then?
In your dreams.
Big upgrade. Yeah.
I think your girlfriend's older than 25.
That's hilarious.
You can't. Was glossing over the fact if Teach, Sleep, Repeat was made into a film, box office flop.
Yeah.
What would the film be? I'm Hayden. I've got an idea. We're going to save education. One episode of a podcast at a time.
Yeah. What is the film? What happens in this film?
No, it's just
this?
All 160 episodes of this podcast back to back in one big show.
Wow.
Can't even episode 30 odd when I have a child and we go insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we wrap that up?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, cool. Guys, thanks for watching, listening, whatever it is you're doing, and whatever platform you're on. Do you know what you could do? Just leave us a review, for God's honestly. I've asked nicely so much, and they go up thousands of listeners, but hundreds of reviews. Does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't. If you don't, he'll keep burping in the bloody mic. No one wants that. Do you want that?
Keep burping. Anyway, see ya.